We refer to cholesterol as the master steroid in the body, and it's so important that your body makes some of it. That's very important to note because most of the essential nutrients, they're considered definitely essential because we cannot make them ourselves. So a nutrient is essential if we get a disease without it and we cannot make it ourselves. That means we have to import it into the body somehow, either from food or from supplements. Now, cholesterol would be on that essential list if we did not make about 10% of it ourselves. And our body will make a little bit more if it has to. If it's feeling deprived, it will go into a little bit of overdrive and produce a bit more, but that capacity is very limited. So we need to consume cholesterol. This is from animals. It's an animal product. We have either evolved or been created to need this in quite high amounts, and it's a macronutrient. It's not a micronutrient like the minerals, so we need quite a lot of it. Both cholesterol and omegas are basically considered macronutrients as well. So macronutrients basically means food, right? The other macronutrients are going to be like carbs and fiber and protein and fat. This is part of the fat category of macronutrients. But since we consider it the master steroid, cholesterol, all of the other steroid hormones are derived from cholesterol, as is vitamin D, as are many of the other hormones that you wouldn't classically consider, but the major ones, testosterone, progesterone, estrogen, adrenal hormones. And so this is why we consider infertility and basically any erectile dysfunction or anything like that, even PCOS or female hormone problems, is pretty much always going to be connected to a cholesterol deficiency, most often caused by gluten intolerance. Because gluten intolerance, if you consume gluten and you're gluten intolerant, then it'll inflame the intestines and prevent the absorption of some of these bigger nutrients, these macronutrients. And the other major way that you can deprive yourself of cholesterol is just by avoiding it. This is the plant-based thing. And traditionally, it was a healthy choice to be a so-called vegetarian or pescatarian or ovo-lacto vegetarian or whatever, and that would still give you access to cholesterol. But people now going full vegan, they're fully cutting themselves off from this master steroid. Further than that, cholesterol comprises about 70% of the nervous system, the weight of the nervous system, because it is the white fiber, the myelin, that coats all of the nerves in the nervous system. So if you don't have enough cholesterol, this is going to start to deteriorate. And we blame Alzheimer's disease on a cholesterol deficiency caused by statin drugs, because statin drugs stop the body from producing and using cholesterol. And typically the doctor will also tell you to avoid cholesterol. Again, this is just going to deprive your body what it needs for its nervous system. On top of that, all of the soft tissues in the body have something to do with cholesterol. This is everything from skin and eyes to gums. We're going to say that gums have a lot to do with calcium as well, but calcium cholesterol, same with the PCOS. These two categories go hand in hand. And cholesterol in the blood has very little to do with cholesterol intake. There are people such as the Inuit who consume massive amounts of cholesterol, and they do have higher blood cholesterol, but they also don't really have heart attacks and any of that. So there's very little correlation between disease and cholesterol. But one of the first chemical signs of a blood sugar problem is going to be elevated cholesterol and triglycerides. So in that case, it is a signal of a problem, but it is not the problem itself. People blame the cholesterol, doctors blame the cholesterol. Meanwhile, that is a result of another problem, a blood sugar problem. And definitely check out my book, Fake Diseases. It covers all of the major topics that come up, like birth defects, blood sugar problems, bone and joint problems, cancer, autoimmune problems, and more. And it's on Amazon for just $9.99. Definitely get yourself a copy of Dr. Wallach's cookbook. This is basically a textbook about how to cook without the bad foods, particularly oil and gluten. This is 300 pages stuffed full of recipes without the bad foods that they're usually made from. And of course, make sure to check out our food page, Notice Foods, that's on YouTube, and at Notice Foods on Instagram. We have a lot of content up there teaching you how to cook without the bad foods that Dr. Wallach describes, and Dr. Glidden's 12 bad foods, all of that, all of the rules that you need to know. And we have experienced chefs and bakers who will answer the questions in those inboxes.